I could only just give the open answer that the heroes in my life are everywhere. And I'm standing next to one now, and I'm talking to 6 or 7 or 8 of them on the phone, and I know that a few thousand are listening. Everybody has that ability within them to make the world a better place every second of every day, and I see it happening all the time, relentlessly. People are making these wonderful things happen, and it's just fantastic. What else more could you ask for in the world?
So true.
I could not agree more. Have any of you seen the new documentary I Am from Tom Shadyac?
No.
I highly recommend looking it up. It was here in LA last week. It was only here for like a week. It is an incredible movie. Tom Shadyac is he was the director who directed like Ace Ventura and like Evan Almighty and Patch Adams and Liar Liar. He did all these Jim Carrey movies, made millions and millions of dollars. And then he was out riding his bike and he got a brain. He ended up with that post-traumatic concussion syndrome that a lot of people actually end up committing suicide from because it's really debilitating. And long story short, he made this incredible documentary, and it's all about how we are all connected. And basically, it's sort of like combining what people have always talked about in spirituality for a very long time, but he actually took it from a scientific standpoint and really asked the question, what's wrong with the world and what are we doing to make it better, or what can we do to make it better? And it's a lot about what you were just saying, which is why it just came into my mind, and I just saw it last week. And I feel like you guys would really love it. So if you get a chance, if it's in a city that you're at, try and see it, because it's a really incredible documentary. And it's just he goes around and talks to a bunch of scientists and scholars and about sort of how we're all connected and how we've really sort of made ourselves disconnected from each other and kind of created hierarchies and try to everybody's like in competition with each other, and instead it really kind of reminds you, no, we're all supposed to be here as a community and being together. And again, I said it at the top of the show, you guys have an incredible community for a fan base, because I've been doing this show for the last couple of years now, and what I've seen from your fan base compared to a lot of the other fan bases that I've seen, you guys, they're loyal, but they're also kind, and they're kind to one another. And what I'm appreciating, and this is again me just projecting here, it's obviously coming from you guys, and so. I commend that. I really do. So it's a hard conversation to have, though, because of having, with you guys being 5 different people, there's a lot of pauses and stuff. So that's why I'm just kind of rambling on there. But I felt very compelled to share that with all of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Angie, this is a fun question now that we've gone a little deep and heady there for a moment. Angie, and I'll go around the room again. If you had to choose a theme song for your life, what would it be and why? And it cannot be a 100 Monkeys song. Her rules, not mine. Let's start with you. Let's start with Ben G.
I would go with It's a Small World After All. Seems like everywhere I go, you're running into people who you met a million miles away, and then there they are, where if they're not someone you've met before, they know someone you know. And, it all ties into the same thing. Everyone's a really wonderful person. It's a small, beautiful place we live in.
I like it. Normally that song annoys me, and now all of a sudden I feel inspired by it. Ben J., you're next.
It's a hard question to answer, but how about The Rotten Harvest by Spencer Bell? I know it's pretty close to home, but I think that's a pretty great song for that.
I'm making notes to look it up so I can listen to it later. Jackson, how about you?
Well, I don't want to, keep going down the heady road, but I guess I have to. The Beatles, why don't we do it in the road? I mean, because no one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road?
I don't know how heady that is, but unless if we do mean the other kind of heady. But Jaron, I'm jumping straight. Just this is the other thing too, just so we can be clear. People always think that because I choose to do a positive spin on this show, that means that I'm all Pollyanna. It couldn't be further from the truth. I just like to focus on the good stuff. Doesn't mean I don't have a completely dirty mind. Jared, how about you?
It's a man's world.
It's a man's world. Any reason why?
Because it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
Ooh. Jared knows how to work his audience. I'll give him that much. Uncle Larry, how about you?
Well, I would like to say, let's say, my love has butterfly wings.
Who sings that?
I've heard, first off, it started off as instrumental, and that's by John Clemens. And I guess within the last 2 to 3 years, someone finally put some lyrics to it, and I found the union between the two very, very beautiful union. So I would say that.
Fun.
I don't know who sung it, though.
Well, I certainly don't either, but I'm gonna look it up. See, I'm literally making notes here. Juju Bean Candy. That was her name that she came in with. What's the strangest thing you guys have received from a fan?
Ooh, me.
We'll take it.
We were living in this hotel in Los Angeles, all of us, the Highland Gardens Hotel, and we received from a very dear friend of ours in Puerto Rico some bottles of what were meant to be homemade eggnog, but the shipping company broke the eggnog. So we got this, it's a large box, about the size of a television, showed up to the hotel, and it's dripping this milky, boozy substance at the bottom of the box. And we rolled in and we set it on the table, and we're all kind of standing around it going, what possibly could be in this box? And we opened it, and it was like some kind of mixture of rum and eggnog and packing peanuts. And we looked through it and eventually realized what it was meant to be. But I think upon reception, the box of eggnog soup and packing peanuts was the most interesting thing we've received.
Now here's the question: what did you guys end up doing with it?
We drank as much of it as we could.
I had a feeling that I was envisioning either swimming in it or some kind of like twisted mud wrestling. Like that's where I was going with it. But I knew there was no way that it just got thrown out. Let's see, going down my list here. Eileen Hernandez wants to know, is there a funniest moment in the band?
Funniest moment?
Yeah, like has there been like a really funny experience or maybe like a backstage antic or a practical joke?
That's ongoing. That's ongoing.
Every day just gets funnier.
Every day just gets funnier. I like that.
Well, I think it's actually interesting. On our last tour, it was our first tour in a tour bus, and it was, like we had a lot of fun with that. But 3 days into it, it was kind of obvious that when you cram 100 monkeys into one bus, it smells like 100 monkeys. In one. And that was kind of funny, but not like a ha-ha funny. That was like a really? We smell that bad funny?
Who's when you guys are on the bus, who's the dirtiest?
Ben Grobner.
And who's the neatest?
Lawrence.
And who farts the most?
Gus.
Gus.
Gus? I'll take it. Jackie in Virginia wants to know, she just got back from Walt Disney World, and she wants to know if everyone has a favorite ride at Disney.
They got Splash Mountain.
Teacups are great.
Splash Mountain and the teacups. No, It's a Small World.
That's actually my favorite.
Mine too.
Last time I was on the Small World ride, some kids were smoking drugs right behind me in the ride.
Oh,
Smoking
nice.
drugs. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can't even imagine what they were smoking at this point. This is not that kind of show.
That's right.
And I'm sure you didn't ask them to partake or inhale deeply. Lori Roberts wants to know, as the band's popularity grows, I suppose I should figure out who's going to answer this. Jackson, how about you go with this one? As the band's popularity grows and you find it's necessary to choose larger venues for shows so everyone has a chance to see your concerts, will you still continue to play for your fans at the smaller, more intimate establishments as well?
Yeah, that's actually a conversation we've definitely had recently. Is as this whole beast kind of grows, we want to definitely maintain that immediate contact with our fan base, and I think it's one of those things that we like to do, and we really want to utilize new media in order to do it. So basically, if people follow, and I hate saying this, but people follow